Hey everybody, welcome back to World of Tanks with Hachiman. Um, Today I'm bringing you the garage overview of the Tiger 1 Tier 7 German heavy tank. Now, those of you who've been around for a long time know that the Tiger 1 used to be the first heavy tank that you could get in the German tree before they made the 3001H and the 3601H heavies. They used to be mediums. The Tiger 1 was the first heavy tank I ever actually unlocked. As a noob, I charged my way up to it, played 10 battles in it, hated it, and got rid of it. And that's because I really didn't understand the Tiger 1 at the time. And I didn't understand the game, really, to be honest about it. So, when the On Track to the E100 event came out, a tank which I don't have yet, I said, hey, let me go back to this and start over and make my way up to the E100, or at least try to while this event's going. And so I bought back the Tiger 1. And here she is. And you can see I've only had this tank back for 8 days. I have a mark of excellence on it. Um, it's it's a far better machine than I gave it credit for back then, and it's a better machine than some people still give it credit for, though it does have weaknesses. First thing about the Tiger 1, the garage overview stats. 1,500 hit points. That's a lot of hit points for Tier 7 Heavy. The T-29 from America has 1,250. Okay, so you've got the largest health pool of any Tier 7 Heavy tank, and you can use that to your advantage to take hits when you need to, when other people can't. Um, 700 horsepower engine with the upgraded engine, mind you, gives it a pretty healthy top speed. Your top speed is 40 kph, and you can reach that top speed relatively easy. So you're a little bit faster than the average Tier 7 Heavy. The French AMX, sorry about my chair there. The French AMX M445, the American T29, you're faster than they are. You're not as fast as an IS, but that's okay. Traverse speed, it is a heavy tank, 26 degrees per second, and turret traverse at 18 degrees per second. It is a slow turret. You do not want to let a Cromwell get to point blank range with you, or an Easy 8 or something along those lines. He will run circles around you, and you will never catch him, especially if he's smart enough to keep you tracked. So, talking about armor for a minute. Okay, the Tiger 1's armor sucks. Okay, it just sucks. 100 millimeters front turret and hull, 80 millimeters side, 80 millimeters rear. So at least compared to, say, the American heavy tanks, it is very homogeneous across. However, look at this. Look at this lack of angling on this armor. This armor is flat everywhere you look. It's got this giant lower plate, okay, with some spaced armor on it, which really doesn't amount to anything. This upper plate is completely flat with weak spots all over it. Machine gun port, driver's view port, and then the turret, also very flat. Shoot a Tiger 1's turret here or here to either side of the gun, and you will have no trouble penetrating. An Easy 8 Sherman or Jumbo Fury, what have you, with the Tier 6 M1A2 gun with 128 millimeters pen, will have no trouble penning this tank basically anywhere it shoots, unless it hits the gun mantlet, or if it gets unlucky and somehow lands a shot right on this plane. The top of the turret is somewhat hard to penetrate, obviously. There's not a big target there. You do have a big cupola, though. Side and rear, forget about it. You will get penetrated in this tank. Now, you can angle, of course, but the Tiger 1's not the best side scraper, because even if you angle to this, you're only at about 130 millimeters frontal hull armor, and that's not going to stop anything. I mean, it'll stop a Tier 6 gun on occasion, but you have to be very careful with this tank's armor and the positions you put it in. You get two mediums in close proximity to you, and you're done. They're just going to chew you up and spit you out like you were yesterday's ham sandwich, if that's even a phrase. let's talk about the part that's really worth talking about on this Tiger. Okay, the guns. Whoa, look at that selection of guns. Now, if you know anything about these tanks, you already know this 10.5 is the DERP from the Panzer IV. This 7.5 is a long-barreled 3-inch gun. You've got from the VK3601H. Then you've got the 88, the short 88 from the VK3601H, and then you've got the long 88. Now, let's talk about this for a moment, okay? You can load this 10.5 DERP if you want. I mean, DERPs are great on Tier 5 tanks, but a Tier 7, come on. I mean, let's be serious about this. When you start with this tank, you should have these two guns, the long 7.5 and the long 88. Or the short 88. If you are smart, if you don't have the XP to get this long 88, you will grind with the 7.5. Well, Hachiman, why would I grind with the 7.5? That 88 gun was a good gun. It was a good gun on the Tier 6 VK3601H against Tier 4, 5, and 6 tanks, sometimes Tier 7s. Against Tier 8s, 9s, no. It's useless. Unless you're going to spam premium ammo with it, you're not going to get the job done. That short 88 from the VK has 132 millimeters of penetration. That is not going to reliably pen Tier 7, 8, 9 tanks. You get the front of a T-29, if he is remotely good at hiding his lower plate, you're not going through the front of him without premium ammo. It's that simple, okay? If he's hull down and you've got his turret, you're done. You have no prayer, okay? Because that hatch on T-29 is not easy to hit. So you run the 7.5. Because it has 150 millimeters penetration on standard ammo, 194 on premium. The penetration is simply better. 18 millimeters can make a difference when you have the front of an IS or a T-29. Okay. The beautiful thing is, even though the damage is substantially lower, 135 to 220, your rate of fire is so much higher, the DPM is basically the same. So, when you're playing the Tiger 1 before you get the big gun, you need to play it as a support role tank, not a frontline heavy. Play it more like you would a medium. You've got a very accurate gun, snipe with it, and get your licks in where you can. When the Tiger 1 becomes special is when you unlock this long 88 gun. Okay, this long 88 has an average penetration of 203 millimeters. 203. Anything in Tier 7, you're penning. It's that simple. And even the fronts of very heavily armored Tier 8s. IS-3. You can pen the front of an IS-3 and an IS-6, which has that troll armor, without any issues with this gun. Okay? Average damage of 240. I'm loading a rammer with vents on mine, and I've got a reload time of 5.65 seconds. So I'm firing roughly every 11 seconds with a average damage of 240. You can do the math. That's 2,640 DPM in a Tier 7 heavy tank. That's strong. The IS and the T-29 aren't even in the ballpark. Okay, so that's what the Tiger 1 is. It's a DPM machine. It's got enough maneuverability so that it can keep itself out of trouble, so that it can flank targets that are well entrenched in a defensible position, and really just pour on the DPM. You will fire almost 3 times for every time an IS fires. You will fire twice for every time a T-29 fires. So your DPM is just absolutely unmatched. It is a tremendous machine when used properly. If you think you're going to assault a heavily fortified position, you're probably wrong. The enemy guns are going to blow right through your armor. But if you can use other people to distract so that you can get your shots in and just pour on the damage, then that's the way to go. And if you get an IS or a T-29 one-on-one, and there's no cover involved, it's just you and him, you can out-DPM him and kill him. No problem. So anyway, I'm out of time here, guys. Quick garage overview, what you need to know about this tank and how to use it. Please like the video and be prepared. I've got a bunch of videos coming.